Oh, didn't see you there. Hey, you got me at a perfect time. We're doing another vintage game review. And today, we are doing Aqua Teen Hunger Force Zombie Ninja Pro-Am for the PS2. Now, if you didn't know, Aqua Teen Hunger Force is a very popular cartoon, or well, it was, in like the mid-2000s from Adult Swim. And they did make a game in 2007 based off of it for only the PS2. And well, we're going to be taking a look at how great, or well, not great, the game is. So yeah, this is Aqua Teen Hunger Force Zombie Ninja Pro-Am. And I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I think it's hilarious. It's really stupid, but it's one of my favorites. Easy, no question. I think it is the pure definition of stupid. I think it's hilarious, and I'm pretty sad that it's been canceled. I'm a pretty big fan. Got the first 3 volumes fan, but yeah. So we got this game from Midway, and let's get into that story. When it comes to story and Aqua Teen Hunger Force on the PS2, there really isn't that much, except that Frylock gets accepted into the New Jersey golf course, so he and Shake and Meatwad steal Carl's car and head down there to go play golf. A bunch of crazy stuff happens afterwards that I will not spoil.
You're not friggin' taking that car. No, we will. Hey! Get back here!
The story really is about as dumb as an episode of the show, and I give it mad props for being this stupid. Like, that takes effort to be this stupid, so I think the plot is pretty good and pretty representative of the show. There's a lot of references to the show, and if you're a serious fan, you'll probably get all of them and think they are hilarious just because of how stupid they are. I really do love all the fan service that this game has, and this is like exactly what I wanted from an Aqua Teen Hunger Force game. It is like perfect in that aspect. But besides the stupid plot that I like, actually, what is the gameplay of the game? So the game is really weird, honestly. The game totally knows it sucks, and not to get ahead of myself, but this game is just really bizarre. It's like a golfing beat-em-up racing game. At the beginning of every level, you are Shake and you play golf. The golf mechanics are pretty much identical to Mario Golf, only these are just much worse. There's the wind-up, there's the wind, there's where the ball goes or going to go on the map, there's different clubs, there's putting, wedge, drive, really everything that's in a standard golf game. It's not too complex. There's only like the wood, wedge, and driver, and putting. There's no like 5-iron, 4-iron, etc. It's pretty basic. And the hitting the golf ball mechanic is literally identical to Mario Golf, minus top spins. But if you've ever played Mario Golf 64, it is exactly like that piece of shit. There is no automatic like Toadstool Tour. The golfing mechanics are competent enough. It's really basic, but they are there. Like, they're there. And are actually not the worst part of the game. They're actually one of the more competent parts of the game that is just alright. Good luck having the ball actually go where it says. The ball is like insane traction in this game. After you hit the ball, you actually have to go get it. Like, you have to go to where it landed. In this mode, you can either play as Shake or Frylock. Now, while you're going to the golf ball, you will be attacked by enemies. All the enemies are from Aqua Teen Hunger Force episodes, which is pretty funny. But you will be attacked by them, and you have to fight them off. Shake has a really basic just kind of attack, like it's just literally a beat 'em up. Additionally, you can block, but I don't think I ever used this once. You can switch to Frylock whenever you want, and he shoots fireballs out of his eyes, just like the show, and he is way better than Shake, unless they literally are right in front of you. In addition, when you're walking to the ball, there are power-ups on the map you can use. Some of these like freeze all the enemies, but most of them are new weapons you can temporarily use, like a shotgun for Shake, or lasers for Frylock. Some of these are totally useful though, or useless, for Shake anyway, so be careful. The only other thing in these maps is collectibles, which you can find to unlock stuff in the extras menu. That's the general gameplay of the game. As you hit the ball, then you go after it and fight enemies along the way. Once you hit the ball again, you'll eventually get to the green, and once you get to the green, you usually have to fight a boss of some sort, and these bosses are pretty much a joke, and once you beat the boss, you have to put the ball into the hole. The bosses are all other Aqua Teen Hunger Force characters, which is great, but these bosses are just extremely easy. The putting is extremely easy as well. The game has 9 holes in it, However, besides the first one and the last one, I'm pretty sure every hole is a par 7, which doesn't actually exist in real life. But at least these holes will take you some time to get through, but there really is only 9. In addition to that, there are 3 racing levels where you race in a golf cart. These races are interesting. You get to have a rocket launcher and you collect rockets for it, and you just go across the course. And these are usually pretty easy. There is 3 of these. And that's pretty much the whole gameplay of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force game. That's really like the whole game. I know it sounds like it sucks and fucks around a lot, especially in the gameplay. I can't say though it's not original. It's very bold, and it's definitely got variety, and it's definitely original. That's for sure.
Oh, I got the worst headache ever. You guys got any aspirin?
I got an action front, doll. Would that help?
Don't talk during my wind-up. Your voice destroys my backswing.
Hey, are you feeling this wind? Wind could be a real problem on this hole, man.
Yeah. Ordinarily, I'd want to use a 5-iron here, but I think I might have to go with an 11 or 12-iron.
You always hit with 100. Do you have a club that's 100?
Yes, I do. Fortunately, I had to let James Bond borrow it.
Look at that. The wind died down.
Hand me the putter.
With all the gameplay talked about, let's talk about the presentation. This is one area that I think Aqua Teen Hunger Force actually kind of succeeds at. The menus are actually really fantastic. I know I don't usually bring up menus or user interface in a game unless it's bad, but it actually looks pretty cool in this game. And I just don't really know. I like the graphics, like how it looks. In terms of the actual graphics, they're decent enough. I know the game came out in like 07, but this is like as budget of a game as it gets. Like it was like 20 bucks when it released. The game is obviously cel shaded and looks like the show. I think it does look like the show, and I think it looks well. The best part of the graphics is easily the character models. These are pretty spot on and excellent for the most part, in my opinion. I think they really get everyone down except for Carl. Carl just does not look right in this game. Other than him though, I think everyone else, they got everyone else down. They got him right. They had strong models. The textures were really basic in the game, as in the case with most cel-shaded games. They don't really pop out much and they just look alright. They weren't bad for like a budget 2007 game, like cel-shaded, but like they weren't like great. They were just passable at best. The frame rate unfortunately dropped quite a bit, especially when Frylock was blasting enemies. The game would go under 30, like under 20 actually, when too much was going on, which seems pretty silly considering the year and just the kind of game. It didn't happen a bunch of times, but it did happen a number of times to me. And I mean, it's not like a big deal breaker or anything. The action itself isn't very exciting, but I mean, it's still a problem. This brings us to the sound, which I actually think is pretty superb in the game. The music is pretty much non-existent, as Shake has to focus on his golfing or some shit. So in the game, in actual gameplay, there's no music like at all, which is pretty unfortunate. But when you're not in the game, the music is pretty fantastic. It's all Aqua Teen Hunger Force music, which I love. So whatever, the music that is there is good stuff, it's just I wish there was more of it. The sound effects were really basic in this game, like they were just straight up ripped from the show, which is excellent, like Frylock's laser eyes, and that's awesome, and I love the fan service when it comes to the sound effects. But in terms of anything new, the sound effects were just really basic and borderline underwhelming. There really was just nothing to comment on here, it was just there. But the stuff from the show, awesome and great fan service. This brings us to the big deal of the sound, which is the voice acting. The voice acting is fantastic in the game. All the original cast show up, and they even got an ESPN announcer for the game, and he is just as good as everyone else, and he is funny.
Talk about urban sprawl.
Yeah, hip-hop has ruined the youth of America.
I'm talking about those overpasses, Ghost Man. You might want to lay up on this hole or you'll end up in bumper to bumper.
And movement.
Yep.
Everyone does a wonderful job when it comes to the voice acting. It is identical to the show, it's hilarious, and the game is genuinely funny in many parts, and will be really funny if you're a big fan of the show. The game has a ton of jokes in it, and it made me laugh out loud a number of times, especially with, like I said, the references to the show. The game has a number of cutscenes in it, and these would go on to actually be in the special features of one of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force season DVDs because they are really like an episode of the show. I would say it's honestly just as funny. In fact, I would go as far as to say that the cutscenes in the game are easily the best part of the game, and that is thanks to the wonderful voice acting. I will say though, some of the voice acting gets really annoying. As good as it is, it gets really annoying because they keep repeating the same quotes over and 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 over. Like, we're talking the same quote within 45 seconds of it just happening, like to the point where it's just obnoxious. It happens a lot, and it's always with Frylock for some reason. Other than that, I think the voice acting is really as good as it gets. The presentation as a whole was actually one of the stronger suits to the game. But now it's time to talk about the game's weak areas, which it has a number of. I honestly don't even know where to begin. This game has just so many issues. The game does suck. Like, the game actively makes fun of you for playing it, and Frylock makes fun of you for playing it as well. Like, I guess we'll start with the golfing. The golfing itself is actually pretty okay. The ball rolling like crazy is pretty annoying, but besides that, I think the golfing is definitely competent enough. It gets a pass. It's not great, it's not even really good, but it's not bad. It gets a pass. It's when you go to get the ball is the problem. The beat 'em up action is just not good in this game. It is super clunky. The combos, if you can even call them that, just don't flow together like well at all. And I try to use Frylock as much as I can. Just avoid beating up anything as Shake because it's just terrible for the most part. The enemies take so many hits for like no reason, and honestly it just becomes tedious really fast. I found myself just trying to run past the enemies as much as I could because it's just not fun to fight them like at all, and after the first hour or two you're going to be borderline bored. The roster for enemies is fine, but they all do the exact same thing, which is just rush you immediately or shoot you from far away. It's not exciting and it gets old really fast. Additionally, some of the courses in this game are actually just horrible. Like, it's very obvious that some of them are made horribly on purpose, but that doesn't excuse the fact that they are just terrible. Like, the Egypt one is just horrible, and the space ones are not much better designed. A lot of them are just not well designed levels / golf courses. Speaking of that, there's only 9 holes in the game, so this game is not very long at all. However, the game's so monotonous that, like, I think it's kind of okay.
I don't care what you wear.
That's what you say now.
Way to go, Meatwad. You changed the course. Will you put that damn t-shirt of the dead away?
You know what? No.
Yes.
Okay. Just a shirt, man.
The last thing that I want to complain about for the gameplay is the kart racing. It's just horrible. Like, all of it is horrible. The controls are actually terrible. They're way too sensitive. The thing turns on a dime. It's oversensitive, and it flips over and rolls and just spins from like everything. The courses are boring. The racing gets kind of boring quickly, and it's just not exciting. It's the same person you race the entire time. It's just not any fun at all. I really didn't like any part of this kart racing. I don't even really get why it's in the game. Is it there to extend the length? It seriously like extends it by like 20 minutes. The game is already like 3 to 4 hours long. I feel like that's enough. It's not any longer really from this, and to be honest, the game shouldn't be any longer than 3 to 4 hours. It's probably a good thing that it isn't. It probably makes the game a little more tolerable. Also, as a quick side note, there was a bunch of glitches in this game, like falling through the map, getting an enemy stuck above the golf ball and I had to restart the level, and just multiple issues with the racing where I just won the race because it glitched, and the game just needed a little more testing. There was glitches. Hidden throughout the levels are extras, like I previously mentioned, which you can unlock new episodes and new clips to watch on the bonus menu, and, well, it's the best part of the game. I got more enjoyment out of watching that than playing the game. The best part of the game, really, was the voice acting, jokes, and the cutscenes, but if that's the best part, why don't you just watch the show instead of playing this stupid game? Forget the gameplay, just watch the cutscenes online or watch the episodes. I mean, so do I think the game is bad? It's truly terrible? No, it's not truly awful, but it's not good. The game has a multitude of issues, including repetition in like a 3-hour game, being borderline boring, horrible level design for the most part, and just awful kart racing. It's not all bad, though. Like I said, the cutscenes, voice acting, graphics are generally good. But, like I said, if that's the best part of the game, forget the game part. Just go back to the episodes. Overall, how is Zombie Ninja Pro-Am? Well, it's not that good, really. I mean, as someone who loves Aqua Teen Hunger Force, this is honestly exactly what I expected. I expected it to be stupid as hell and just not very good at all. And the game knows it's pretty fucking bad, but I mean, that doesn't really hide the fact that it sucks. I mean, the game sucks. It really does. But I will say it is funny, and as someone who loves Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I like the game. I know it's not any good, but I like it anyway. I will say the best part of it was honestly watching the episodes that are included on here and the cutscenes, which are pretty good. In fact, they were so good, honestly, that it made me go back and watch the original Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like, honestly, I love these. These are great. This, not so great. It's really not. In fact, actually, I'm going to have to give it a thumbs down. Yeah. Sorry, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Goodbye. Yeah. So, thanks.